Spy for one.
Okay. All right, we're starting our next evening.
The chair has broken for me.
Uh-oh.
All of the players are taking the stage.
Wait, Gerald, move.
What? Calm down.
Yes, we're rearranging the stage. All right, here we go.
We are very organized.
On we go. Yes. Moving on. Let's just no. Move that back. We don't need to move the whole couch across the room. We're fine. It's fine. Okay. You are disturbing the mice. Oh.
Disturbing
Okay.
And the termites.
No termites. Another chair. All right.
There's no termites. Yes,
We're recording.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah, really.
It hasn't even been a minute. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Moving on. So, Desiderata Hollow has gone to arrest, and now we cut the scene. And this is Genua, the magical kingdom, the Diamond City, the fortunate country. In the center of the city, a woman stood between two mirrors, watching herself reflected all the way to infinity. That is what it sounded like.
Sorry.
The mirrors were themselves in the center of an octagon of mirrors, open to the sky on the highest tower of the palace. There were so many reflections, in fact, that it was only with extreme difficulty you could tell where the mirrors ended and the real person began.
Nice chorus.
Oh.
Like, I totally understand this now.
Symbolism, eh? That's right. There you go. Her name...
Thickens.
Her name was Lady Lilith de Tempskire, although she had answered...
Shut up.
Although she had...
Spoiler alert! Do not listen to that.
Although she had answered to many others in the course of a long and eventful life. And that was something you learned to do early on, she'd found. If you wanted to get anywhere in this world, and she had decided right at the start that she wanted to get as far as it was possible to go, you wore names lightly, and you took power anywhere you found it. She had buried 3 husbands. At least 2 of them had been already dead.
Oh, great.
And you moved around a lot, because most people don't move around much.
But Daddy,
Yes.
Granny Weatherwax is quite a heavy name. It's not something to be taken lightly.
Or cast aside easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough
That's
with the
why we're not
literature
talking
discussion.
about Granny Weatherwax right now.
We're talking about
Okay,
Lilith
fine, whatever.
person.
Keep going.
All right. So, change countries and your
Can I
name,
still have your ice cream?
and if
Shut
you
up.
had the right manner, the world was your mollusk. For example,
Oyster.
Yeah.
She got the wrong fish, you know. Got the wrong
Oysters.
fish.
Snails and slugs are also mollusks, as are octopuses.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I don't want a snail. Thank you very much.
Octopi.
Octopodes.
They're mollusks?
Yes.
Wow.
Really?
Really.
Yeah, she takes biology.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah. That's that community college education right there.
Okay, people, let's keep on with the reading instead of the...
Stay on target, stay on
Jabber.
target!
The world was your mollusk. For example, she'd had to go a mere 100 miles to become a lady. She would go to any lengths now. The 2 main mirrors were set, almost but not quite, facing one another, so that Lilith could see over her shoulder and watch her images curve away around the universe inside the mirror. She could feel herself pouring into herself, multiplying itself via the endless reflections. When Lilith sighed and strode out from the space between the mirrors, the effect was startling. Images of Lilith hung in the air behind her for a moment, like 3-dimensional shadows before fading. So, Desiderata was dying. Interfering old baggage, she deserved death. She'd never understood the kind of power she'd had. She was one of those people afraid to do good for fear of doing harm, who took it all so seriously. They would constipate themselves with moral anguish before granting the wish of a single ant.
Well, hello, if you granted the wish of the ant, the whole world might go wrong.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe you should be the fairy godmother.
Fairy godmothers should not grant wishes. They should prevent other people from granting wishes.
What?
That's a good point.
Tricky.
Or counteract the wishes granted by others.
But it matters what kind of wish it is. Oh, well, whatever. Keep reading.
Okay. Lilith looked down and out over the city. Well, there were no barriers now. That stupid voodoo woman in the swamp was a mere distraction, with no understanding. Nothing stood in the way of what Lilith liked more than anything else. A happy ending.
Ba, 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 ba.
It doesn't sound like she's gonna get a happy ending.
Not
She
for
sounds
her.
kind of evil.
Alright.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up on the mountain, the Sabbat had settled down a bit. Artists and writers have always had a rather exaggerated idea about what goes on at a witch's Sabbat. This comes from spending too much time in small rooms with the curtains drawn, instead of getting out in the healthy fresh air. For example, there's the whole thing about dancing round naked. In the average temperate climate, there are very few nights when anyone would dance round at midnight with no clothes on, quite apart from the questions of stones, thistles, and sudden hedgehogs.
Wait, what? The thing is,
Then,
even in the middle of summer, it's freezing in the middle of the night. That's awful. Why would you even bother making a rumor about it?
that's what he's saying. And then there's all that business with goat-headed gods. Most witches don't believe in gods. I mean, they know that the gods exist, of course. They even deal with them occasionally, but they don't believe in them. They know them too well. It would be like believing in the postman.
I believe he'll come to my door every day. Yes, I know that already.
And then there's the food and drink, the bits of reptile, and so on. In fact, witches don't go for that sort of thing. The worst you can say about the eating habits of the older type of witch is that they would tend to like ginger biscuits, dipped in tea, with so much sugar in it that the spoon will not move. And will drink it out of the saucer if they think it's too hot. And they do so with appreciative noises, more generally associated with the cheaper type of plumbing system. Guys,
Josh, that's
dude,
disgusting.
Alright.
Stop it. That's enough. That's enough.
legs of toad and so on might be better than this. And then there's the mystic ointments.
Oh dear.
By sheer luck, the artists and writers are on firmer ground here. Most witches are elderly, which is when ointments start to have an attraction. And at least two of those present tonight were wearing Granny Weatherwax's famous goose grease and sage chest liniment. This did not make you fly or see visions, but it did prevent colds, if only because the distressing smell that developed around the second week kept everyone else so far away you couldn't catch anything from it.
That's terrible. Nice.
And finally, there's the sabbats themselves. Your average witch is not by nature a social animal, as far as other witches are concerned. There's a conflict of dominant personalities. There's a group of ringleaders without a ring. There's the basic unwritten rule of witchcraft, which is, don't do what you will, do what I say. The natural size of a coven is 1. Witches only get together when they can't avoid it. Like now.
Like when Magrat calls them together.
Be
That's
quiet.
right. The conversation, given Desiderata's absence, had naturally turned to the increasing shortage of witches. Footnote. Desiderata had sent a note via Old Mother Dismas asking to be excused on account of being dead. Second sight enables you to keep a very tight rein on your social engagement. Look how smooth that. Smooth, yeah.
Did the footnote.
I did the footnote. Wasn't that nice? Yeah.
How'd you do? Hit escape?
I have 2 copies of the book open in the machine, and I just have one at the footnote section and the other not. Just slip back and forth. There's like windows in the browser.
Well, there's no point in doing that unless we get on with it at this point.
Oh, yeah, I guess we'll do that. So
Let's go.
smooth. All right, so you guys ready? You reading
Yeah.
along with me? You can say the words? All right. What, no one? Said Granny Weatherwax.
No one.
Said Gamma Brevis. I call that terrible, said Granny. That's disgusting,
A.
said Old Mother Disman.
Not this
She
one.
calls it disgusting.
Shouted Gamma Brevis.
A.
What?
What?
This is you, yeah.
There's no girl to put forward to take Desiderata's place.
Oh.
Awesome. You guys are awesome.
I'm not exactly
Our
old
YouTubers are
here.
Yeah, that's great.
waiting for the rest of the story.
Stop that.
The implications of this sank in.
Our fans.
The implications of this sank in. Well, if anyone don't want their crusts, I'll have 'em, said Nanny Og.
Wait, I thought it was potato salad.
It's got crusts around the potato salad. It's like a shepherd's pie sort of thing. We never had this sort of thing in my young days, said Granny. There was a dozen witches this side of the mountain alone. Of course, that was all before all of this. And she made a face. Making your own entertainment. There's far too much of this making your own entertainment these days. We never made our own entertainment when I was a girl. Never had time. Oh, yes, tempers fuck it, said Nanny Og. What?
What did you say?
Tempers fuck it. It means that was then and this is now, said Nanny. It's tempus fugit, which is time flies.
Oh.
I don't need no one to tell me that, Dutha Og. I know when now is. Well, you got to move with the times. I don't see why we...
So, I reckon we got to shift the boundaries again.
Said Gammer Brevis. Well, we can't do that, said Granny Weatherwax promptly. I'm doing 4 villages already. The broomstick hardly has time to cool down.
Well, with Mother Hollow passing on, we're definitely short-handed.
Said Gammer Brevis.